value of TC plus 273.15. This is the formula to use. So 2TK will now be, what is our TC, temperature in Celsius that we get? It is 10. Whatever I'm seeing TC, what will I be putting? I will slot in what? 10. It will now be 10 plus 273.15. Hope we are together. The reason why I'm a little bit faster is that I know that the only thing that is difficult there is just cram this formula. Substitute in your parameters and get your answer. That's what I did. Now this will now be TK will now be 10 plus this one will give me what now? Will give me 280 what? 283.15. Are we? 283.15 in Kelvin. Are we together? So that's what is going to give me. Are we? Let's see another example. I will use it to explain that one. When you have to calculate in terms of change. You know here what is the temperature in degrees Celsius. What of if they ask you what is the temperature? What is the change in temperature? Change in temperature in degrees Celsius and also in Kelvin. Are we together? So that is that under that. So let's see example 2. Now this is another beautiful question. Why are we treating this? This question is different from the first question. In what sense? I told you that. Note, you have to understand the question. If the first question is, if you are asked to calculate what? The temperature in Kelvin or in degrees Celsius or in Fahrenheit. But here, look at what is the change? Something of this change. This is change. Are we in mathematics and in physics? Change in temperature on the Kelvin. That means change in temperature like this, or you can, this is the change in temperature, absolute temperature in Kelvin. Or you do change in temperature K. Anyhow, in Kelvin scale and on the Fahrenheit scale. That means change in what? Change in TF. Are we together? Hope I'm communicating. And I told you, note, this change in T is still the same thing as change in TK. It's still the same thing. You can use either of any symbols. Are we together? So if you ask to calculate change in temperature is different from what is the temperature in Kelvin. Are we? The formula changes. And note that if you are getting change in TC is still the same thing as change in TK. Or change in TC is still the same thing as change in T. So whatever you get here from, we are given how many? We are given 25 degrees Celsius. That is T1. We are given TC1, 80 degrees Celsius, TC2. So when you minus them, you will get change in T or change in TK. Hope I'm communicating. So note that whatever you get for change in TC is still the same time as change in what? TK. Note that. You don't need to still calculate anything here. Now another thing that I want to say, let's firstly write out the data given. Please just keep that. A pan of water is heated from this to this. A pan of water is heated from this to this. That means this is temperature. What temperature are we given here now? I know you will have understand that. We are given TC1 or TC1 temperature in degrees Celsius, which is initial. This is the final. You can say TC, you can notice like that. TC1 25 degrees Celsius. Are we together? You can still say TC2 80 degrees Celsius. Are we together? Now, full stop. What is the change in its temperature on the Kelvin scale? What is the change? But before we go, that means we have to calculate change in TK. Are we? But before we go to this change in TK, we have to firstly see TC, change in TC. Because I told you that change in TC is still the same thing as change in TK. Are we together? So what is the change in its temperature on Kelvin? That means we have to calculate change in T, not ordinary T, because of this particular word. Are we together? Now, not say if we have gotten this, automatically we have gotten what we have to do here. Then we move to the second aspect. Now, what would that be? We will now say change since, or recall that, anyhow you want to recall that change in TC equals to change in T. or Tk. Change in Tk, anyhow you want to. Now, what is change in Tc? Change in temperature in degrees Celsius equals to, what is our T2? T2, this is our T2 minus T1. It will now be Tc2 minus Tc1, which will give you what? What is our Tc2? 80 degrees Celsius. Minus what is our Tc1? 25 degrees